Bodh Gaya in Bihar. This is a sacred land which changed the course of humanity. More than 2,500 years ago, a prince renounced his throne in search of truth. Right in this town, under the majestic Bodhi tree, he found the answers. The world knows him as Lord Buddha, the Enlightened One. And today, in this very heart of Buddhism, more than 200,000 monks, Tibetan Buddhists, tourists will come here to celebrate one of the most auspicious occasions of Buddhist calendar. It's called Kal Chakra. What follows is 12 days of chanting and prayers, creating and destroying the sand mandala, a Buddhist meditative symbol. Meditation under the guidance of the spiritual and temporal head of the Tibetan people, the Dalai Lama. While here they seek nourishment for the soul, the sustenance of the body comes from these majestic kitchens which cook traditional Tibetan foods 3 times a day. With great pride, we present to you the Megakitchens at Kal Chakra 2017.
Kal Chakra in Sanskrit literally means the wheel of time. Kal Chakra is the wheel without beginning or end. In Tibetan Buddhism, the Kal Chakra ceremony is an advanced level of tantric practice to help attain enlightenment. And the Buddha himself is supposed to have given the Kal Chakra teachings to his followers. But it was a secretive ceremony, a sole reserve of the monks. This changed in the 18th century when the Kal Chakra was thrown open to the public by the 7th Dalai Lama. The Kal Chakra ceremony sees some of the biggest gatherings of the followers of Tibetan Buddhism from around the globe. And the preparation for this mega event begins months ago. For the devotees, every time the Kal Chakra is held in Bodh Gaya, the heart of Buddhism, it is extra special. Despite the January cold, the local administration is expecting over 200,000 people from across the world. And the roads, train stations, hotels and markets of Bodh Gaya are simply bursting at the seams. At over 200,000 square feet, the Kal Chakra ground is massive. A huge canopy will be erected here to accommodate a 200,000 strong crowd. A stage will be erected for the Dalai Lama and the high-ranking monks. The stage will house the Tekpu, a special enclosure where the mystical sand mandala will be built. It will take 75 days to erect this massive tent, which will then be decorated with hundreds of tanka, scrolls to help practitioners visualize deities during meditation. The administration has specially deployed over 4,000 police personnel from across Bihar for the duration of the festival.
Organizing Kalchakra is dependent on your past lives and past karma. So it's the collective karma. The path has to be, the conscience, the path has to be so clear. Clearer it is, better organized it becomes.
In a first, the Kalchakra Committee has decided to serve special butter tea and ballot bread 3 times a day, not just to the monks, but to all those attending the ceremony. Saris made of roasted barley flour and dressel, the sweetened rice, will be served on the last day to mark the Kalchakra finale. But dishing out this menu for over 200,000 people is going to be a mega logistical challenge. 3 mega kitchens are being set up not far from the main Kalchakra hall. The kitchens cover an area of over 30,000 square feet. 2 kitchens have been dedicated to make the Tibetan bread called balap. Each has 8 workstations for rolling out the flour and 12 large wood-fired stoves to toast the balap. The 3rd kitchen, closest to the Kalchakra tent, has 7 cooking pots of various sizes. These will be used for brewing the salty, buttery Tibetan tea. But the biggest challenge to get these kitchens up and running is water. They will be paralyzed without a daily dependable water supply of 75,000 liters. That's when the district magistrate of Gaya steps in.
पानी की प्रतिदिन आवश्यकता इनके किचन में लगभग 75,000 लीटर की होगी और 25,000 लीटर 3 बार इनको आवश्यकता होगी और इसको किसी भी तरीके से स्थानीय स्तर पर किसी बोरिंग के माध्यम से पूरा करना संभव नहीं था, न ही इसको टैंकर के माध्यम से दिया जाना संभव था।
Barely 20 feet from the Kalchakra grounds is a 1,100,000 liter water tank. Part of a yet to be completed municipal water project, the local administration has taken on the task to lay a direct 450 meter pipeline from the tank to the kitchen.
हम लोग के यहाँ एक जलापूर्ति योजना का प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा था और काफ़ी नज़दीक में एक टंकी का निर्माण काफ़ी एडवांस स्टेज में था। तुरंत ही हम लोगों ने सरकार के स्तर से बात करके उसमें सप्लाई की व्यवस्था की गई और आज के दिन में उस किचन में उसी से पानी की सप्लाई हो रही है।
Day 1 of the Kalchakra. Security measures are in full force to manage the crowds heading towards the meditation hall. There is a festive mood in the air. Groups of monks dance in a street corner to herald and welcome their spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. The arrival of the Dalai Lama sends the crowds into a deep reverence. Once inside, the Dalai Lama prays to consecrate the site. The religious and spiritual ceremonies commence. And just like the meditation hall, it's kickoff time for the kitchens as well. The enormous iron vessels are in for a good scrubbing. Soon they'll be bubbling with hot, buttery Tibetan tea. "50-year-old Lobsang Sonam, popularly called Ayya Lama, or the Elder Monk, is the man in charge of the Kalchakra kitchens. His mild manners hide a wealth of experience. This is the man who has successfully fed 2 previous Kalchakra gatherings.
चाय बनाने के लिए हमारा 12 आदमी है। चाय के लिए दूध एक दिन में 12,000 लीटर। हमारे चाय एक दिन में 3 बार बनाने के लिए सुबह 11 बजे और 3 बजे। 3 बजे चाय मीठा और सुबह दिन को हमारा टिबेट चाय नमक वाला है वही। ये दोनों को चाय मिठाई चाय में दूध थोड़ा ज़्यादा है। 6,000 मिठाई चाय में रखते हैं।
The process of making Tibetan butter tea, or pocha, may look very simple, but on this scale, it is nothing short of extraordinary. First, 2,500 liters of water is poured into a 4,500-liter cauldron and put to boil. 1,000 packets of milk are brought in and ripped into the mega teapot.
अभी भी थोड़ा टाइम है इसमें उमलने के लिए, तो जैसे ही उमल जाएंगे तो इसमें हम घी ऐड करेंगे, उसके बाद पत्ती, और इसको थोड़ा शेक करेंगे। फिर गुरुजी नमक डालेंगे इसमें, तो कितना नमक स्वाद अनुसार। उसके बाद अंदर से जब आदेश आएगा कि चाय भेजो, तो भेजना शुरू हो जाएगा, फिर हर कोई डालेंगे चाय।
The butter bricks have remained firm in the January cold, despite no refrigeration. 60 kilograms of melted butter is then poured in. The butter is salty, but not enough for this recipe. So 5 more kilograms of salt is further added to each large cauldron. Finally, the special Tibetan tea, which has been left to soak overnight, is now added to the bubbling mixture of water, milk, and butter. These monks are innovative. Specially adapted power drills are being used as stick blenders to mix the butter and salt evenly. Once the tea is churned, it is ready to be served in as unique a manner as it is made in. Inside, the prayers and chanting continue. Soon, the devotees will receive their first round of nourishment. Volunteer monks from monasteries across India now stream into the kitchen and wait patiently in a line. Tea is pumped out of the cauldrons into the kettles held by the volunteers. 600 monks with 600 aluminum kettles. It's a veritable army. The monks then gather near the gate, waiting for a signal. And soon, patience is thrown to the winds as a sea of maroon joyfully races to the main Kalchakra tent. Holding the hot kettle as steady as possible. The volunteers sprint down the lanes. Their challenge? To serve tea while it's still piping hot. Each one serving over 200 cups of tea. And in less than 20 minutes, the tea run is complete. The salty, buttery tea is exactly the same the monks would have had in cold Tibet to provide warmth and succor to their bodies. The drink of choice for these monks as they meditate long hours to reach a higher plane. The Kalchakra kitchen gears for its next big task, cooking nearly 3 million ballops, the Tibetan flatbread that will nourish the devotees for 12 long days. "2 a.m. on a cold January morning. The sleepy town of Bodh Gaya in eastern India is witnessing a buzz of activity. Trucks carrying 24,000 packets of milk are making their way to a mega kitchen. volunteers and monks ensure the truck is unloaded and the supplies are accounted for. This is the kitchen of Kalchakra, a grand Buddhist event. Every day, 12,000 liters of milk is consumed here. And by the end of 12 days, Ayalama's team will have used up close to 150,000 liters. Outside, the wintry sun is up. The faithful are making their way through the busy streets. A bustling market is cropped around the Mahabodhi temple complex, selling prayer books, prayer wheels, and traditional Buddhist beads.
So this is a string of beads from the Mahabodhi tree here in Bodh Gaya. Each of the beads represents a moment of time passing, of purification. For me, this mala, though very simple, is a transformative tool for transforming my heart and my mind. Very precious.
Catherine is a clinical psychologist and a yoga practitioner, and this is her third Kalchakra. For her, the main draw is being in the presence of His Holiness.
What an incredible person he is. For me, he represents what's possible as a human being in this very simple way. I mean, he obviously has immense knowledge. He's an incredible scholar as well as a very deep practitioner. But fundamentally, the thing that's most inspiring is how he behaves with other people, how he's, the depth of his kindness, the depth of his availability, the consistency of his actions to be beneficial for others, his joyfulness, his intention that never wavers.
Dalai Lama Tenzin Gyatso, the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism and Nobel Peace Prize winner, is the most popular face of Tibetan Buddhism around the world. This is the 34th Kalchakra for the 81-year-old Dalai Lama. He has previously led 2 Kalchakra ceremonies in Tibet, his homeland, another 11 across the world, and 21 in his adopted home, India, of which Bodh Gaya has seen 5, the maximum number of Kalchakra ceremonies to be hosted in one place. For the Dalai Lama, the objective of Kalchakra is to spread the message of world peace.
I always emphasize that real world peace must come through inner peace. For that, not money, not power, not beauty, but here, warm-heartedness, sense of concern of others' well-being. Once that kind of compassionate attitude, compassionate mind develop, so that's the real source of world peace.
He is the first Dalai Lama to have traveled west, and his charisma has attracted followers like Hollywood megastar Richard Gere.
All I can see in my mind's eye is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He's a complete commitment of eradicating self-interest, and everything he does is for others, for people, for ghosts, for beings on other planets, for the insects, for animals. To him, it's all the same.
This is not an easy place to get to, Bodh Gaya.
Richard Gere and Dalai Lama have been close for more than 3 decades. The actor has attended many Kalchakras and is the most famous of his disciples.
I first encountered Buddhism, I was probably 21 or 22 years old, went to Dharamsala. In 1981, I think it was. I was able to meet His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and we had a rather long talk about everything. And I was completely struck by his utter normalcy, his simplicity, the directness, his ability to see deeply into a confused young man's perceptions.
The Dalai Lama begins every day by first entering the Tekpu, to pray by the mandala. To start the Kalchakra rituals, monks from the Namgyal Monastery first dance the Earth Dance. When Tenma, the Earth Spirit, is appeased, Kalchakra can begin. Some monks chant and pray, while others painstakingly draw out the geometric map of the mandala. It is a representation of a huge palace with 5 levels where body, mind, speech, wisdom, and great bliss reside. The mandala is sacred art in Tantric Buddhism. A series of concentric circles, a geometric representation of the Kalchakra's universe, and a tool to enter a higher meditative state for the practitioners. It will take these monks 8 days to complete this sand mandala. Flowers and dots fill the mandala palace. Every single detail has a symbolic meaning. The monks use chakpur, the long serrated funnel, to fill out the detailed designs. Even as time almost slows down in the Tekpu, as monks carefully draw out each design, at the Kalchakra kitchen, there is frenzied activity. The monks are beginning the process of making Tibetan flatbread called balap. Enormous sacks of wheat flour are emptied across the work tables. Buckets of water, activated with yeast, are used to knead the flour. Kitchen in charge Ayya Lama is on the rounds, ensuring the dough has risen well.
कब बनाया ये? कल शाम को बनाया। हाँ।
The innovative kitchen team is using aluminum water pipes as rolling pins to hasten the process. Once rolled, the cutting team takes over. Meanwhile, the large iron griddles are sizzling hot. The ballops instantly bubble and rise as they touch the surface. It takes just a few minutes for the ballops to be cooked on each side. For Ayya Lama and the team of workers, it's their faith in the Dalai Lama and the Kalachakra teachings that motivate them to perform their long hours of kitchen duty.
Dalai Lama तो गुरु जी हमारा बहुत गुरु जी 12 गुरु जी बुद्धिज्म जो पूरा आदमी में खाना देना आदमी में सर्वे अच्छा करना अच्छा लगता है ना पूरा आदमी अच्छा लगता है ना वही है
The tea volunteers are already in the main tent serving. Simultaneously, another lot are waiting to begin another run. This time with baskets full of ballop bread. The monks race through the lanes. The pilgrims stretch out their palms for the bread, some taking extra to sustain themselves through the long day. These monks and devotees have been nourishing their souls, listening to the lectures from the Dalai Lama, and now they look forward to nourish their bodies with the tea and bread from the Kalchakra kitchen.
It's age-old custom. Normally, it's only served to the monks as a reverence. But we made sure this time the public is also served. So that has multiplied the magnitude by 10 times. 20,000 plus monks, now more than 2 lakhs people. So when you're seeking spiritual blessing from His Holiness and of all Kalachakra, if you're a bit hungry, I think your attention will go somewhere else. So we want to make sure that they are well fed.
Every day, close to 240,000 ballops are made, and by the end of the Kalchakra, close to 2.9 million breads will have been cooked. The yeasty bread dipped in hot tea, making for a comforting meal in the harsh Indian winter. Midway through the Kalchakra event in Bodh Gaya, the kitchen is in for a new surprise. 100 nuns take over the space to make sari, or roasted barley balls, for the last day of the festival. As the Buddhist event of Kalchakra 2017 progresses, the faithful, dressed warmly, stream towards the meditation tent on yet another cold, foggy January morning. Inside, Tibetan Buddhists from across India have arrived. Soaking in the atmosphere are also devotees from all around the globe. Inside the Taekpu, the Dalai Lama prays as the mandala takes shape. The deep chants of the Namgyal monks create a powerful atmosphere. Brightly colored sand powder is used to fill in the details of the mandala, an intricate geometric representation of the universe, made of impermanent sand. Practitioners use the mandala in higher meditation to help them visualize the steps along the path of enlightenment. Meanwhile, the wheels of time keep churning inside the Kalchakra kitchen. Endless cycles of tea and bread making and serving that is repeated 3 times a day throughout the 12 days. The tea cauldrons are large enough to swim in. The largest holds 4,500 liters. These two can hold 3,000 liters, and the smallest holds 2,600 liters of tea. That's close to 133,000 cups of tea served at one session. For the 600 kitchen volunteer monks, serving so many cups of tea is worship, another route to salvation.
इतने लोगों को चाय पिलाना हर किसी के नसीब में होता नहीं है, तो ये नसीब हमको नसीब हुआ, ये खुशकिस्मत की बात है। फिर वही सोच के सेवा ही करना है बस, और तो करना क्या है।
By the end of the event, these volunteers would have made innumerable runs across the vast Kalchakra hall, running with tea and bread at least 6 times a day. It's day 8, and the Sand Mandala is finally complete. The yellow-hatted monks begin the chants and prayers to mark the completion of the mandala. What follows are ritual dances. Slow, graceful steps with subtle hand gestures or mudras to the accompaniment of Tibetan instruments. The Mega Kitchen, the great hearth of the Kalchakra ceremony, is in a whirl of activity. In Tibetan Buddhism, food is a means to an end. It provides the body nourishment as it works towards enlightenment. It is advised that any seed of life should not be destroyed. So root vegetables shouldn't be consumed, since roots of a plant house many organisms. The monks earlier would survive on alms, so meat isn't strictly prohibited, but it should not violate these criteria. Meat of the animal which one knows was killed for one's food, whose cry one heard when killed, and which one doubts was killed for one's food.
I'm eating this food not for my own beauty or just to say health, but for sustain or survive this body in order to serve more wider way, more effectively.
It's the same philosophy that guides the mega kitchens of Kalchakra that have been taken over by some very special guests. A brand new all-woman team is here to make sari sweetened balls made of roasted barley flour called sampa.
लाटू बनाने के लिए चीनी मक्खन सत्तू दूध चाहिए। सत्तू एक महीने पहले हिमाचल से मंगाया, बाकी दूध मक्खन गया से मिला। ये लाटू कलश की पूजा खत्म होने के बाद सबके लिए बनाया।
Endless sacks of sampa are emptied out on a waterproof material. The nuns ensure there are no lumps. Sampa, the roasted barley flour, is a Tibetan staple. Ayya Lama continues to supervise the nuns and opens the first sack of sugar that will sweeten the sari. The nuns work fast, mixing vast quantities as evenly as possible. Ayya Lama personally oversees the mixing of the liquid butter. Nothing is weighed or measured here. All ingredients are by approximation. It's the experience that counts to get the mix right. The nuns rub the flour and fat together until the mixture feels like crumbs. Another lot of nuns are busy making the sari. Holding fistfuls, the nuns press and bind the buttery sugary sampa mix firmly into balls. Nearly 300,000 balls of sari need to be made before the closing ceremony. It will take the nuns 6 nights to get them ready. The sari balls will be served as religiously blessed offerings to the Kalchakra pilgrims on the final day. As the Kalchakra enters its final day, more crowds throng the grounds. For the Mega Kitchen of Kalchakra, a new challenge awaits. Bodh Gaya in eastern India. It's the 12th and final day of the Kalchakra ceremony, a Buddhist event of meditation and learning. Even before the sun is up, the early risers queue up to enter the Kalchakra tent. Everyone wants the best seats to view the closing rituals. These mini trucks race to the Kalchakra tent, carrying the ingredients required to make dresel, the sweetened rice made on most Tibetan religious festivals. "5,000 kilograms of rice will be used to make the religious offering. A new crew has been hired to make the sweetened rice, and they come with their own kitchen paraphernalia. They'll cook for the monks and pilgrims who are already filling up the Kalchakra grounds. Baskets full of sari and sampa balls have been placed before the Dalai Lama's stage, waiting to be blessed. Traditional Tibetan instruments are played to welcome the Dalai Lama on the culminating day of the Kalchakra ceremony. For everyone here, it's the last day to get blessings from their spiritual leader. The last day of the Kalchakra concludes with the Long Life Empowerment Ceremony. Prayers for the Dalai Lama and all the participants to have a long and fulfilling life. On the sides of the stage sit the ornately dressed oracles, invited today to give their prophecy. The oracles are in a trance-like state, ostensibly waiting for the voice from the other world to speak to them. In the kitchen, the new crew begins the process to make dresil, the Tibetan sweetened rice. The new cooks boil endless pots of water flavored with aromatic spices. The steaming rice drained directly into these wicker baskets.
कलाचका लास्ट पे में हमारा स्पेशल चावल बना है इसी का अंदर काजू बादाम गेंदू माखन चीनी नारियल किसमें सब डाल के बना है.
Another team works on the garnishing. Dried palm dates are washed while dried coconuts are chopped into slivers. The rice is layered with sugar, generous helpings of dried nuts, and jugs of melted butter. And right at the very end, the precious droma, a sweet wild root found in Tibet, is sprinkled all over. On the stage, swaying and dancing, Nechung, the state oracle of Tibet, moves with inexplicable energy. He is seen as the protector divinity of the Tibetan government, and his prophecy is important. His words whispered into the ears of the Dalai Lama. In the kitchen, the cooks are still at their task. The steaming sweetened rice transferred into smaller buckets for distribution. The monks run once again, joyfully to serve their fellow men. The sari, sampa balls, the last offering from the Mega Kitchen. These balls are a big draw for the pilgrim. The sari balls are sacred and blessed. For the volunteer monks, this is the last distribution round. Their 12 days of service in the kitchen draws to a close. Their 12 days of running and serving is finally over. It's been 12 days of the Kalchakra ceremony. 12 days of prayer and meditation. 12 days of reveling in the Dalai Lama's presence. For everyone here, today is special. Holding candles and statues of Tibetan goddesses, they line up to make their offerings to their spiritual leader. Praying for the long life of the 81-year-old Dalai Lama, the man who has kept the cause of the Tibetan people in exile burning throughout the world.
To take not just high tantric teachings, but just deep Buddhist teachings in this place from such a man as the Dalai Lama, and it's an incredible blessing for all of us, all of us.
The power of orienting our hearts to be more open, to be more truly able to see other people and respond to them. I think that the being together in this way only heightens that experience. I take that back with me to my life in America.
I feel blessed. The whole team, we feel blessed. This is perhaps the best organized Kalachakra, given the magnitude, given the place where we are.
I feel that those who have attended a Kalachakra is the most luckiest and the most greatest people.
It's the third time I'm visiting Kalachakra, and every time I come out here, I feel like I get purified.
For the pilgrims, the Kalchakra is a seminal moment in their life. Now time has come a full circle. Making the mandala and then destroying it is at the heart of the Kalchakra ceremony. The head priest of the Namgyal monastery runs his fingers through the writing on the outer circle and then moves to cut the mandala into 8 wedges. It took 8 painstaking days to make this artistic marvel, and less than 8 minutes to destroy it. The once colorful mystical mandala, now simply brown sand, a visual representation of the impermanence of life.